All right, what's going on, everybody? You are tuning in to Finding Your Niche with Niche. I am the host of the hour, Nisha Rogers, and I am talking to the one and only Javier Villamil, the actor. The actor.
Yeah, that's me.
Wow, you're on the show. Thank you so much for being here today.
I'm here. I'm really excited to be here.
As you guys may or may not know, this show is really a cornerstone of my business, Free Minds. And one of the things that we believe is that life's breakthroughs are one thought away. So today I'm going to talk to him about what was that one thought that made him want to pursue his specific niche as being an actor. So thank you for coming on today.
No problem.
Super excited to talk to you.
Yeah.
You are my first actor.
Okay.
On the show.
Sweet.
And actually, I think you are my first actor friend.
Really?
Yeah, like a legit actor.
You're setting the bar pretty high.
No, because people say they act. People say they act, but like, let me take that back. You're my first actor friend who's. I'm not gonna say it.
Okay.
I'm not gonna finish the sentence.
I think I know where you're going with it, but we'll agree that we're agreeing on the thing.
Everybody's good at what they do.
Everyone's great at what they do. I don't know how true that is. I don't know if I could.
Everybody is good at what they do to them.
Okay. Okay. We'll agree. We'll agree there.
We'll agree to disagree.
Yeah.
But so you're an actor.
Yeah.
How long did it take you to fully embrace that title?
Without dating myself. And
Okay,
myself,
like you're 87 years old.
I feel old. I'm old as an actor.
We are the same age. Fun fact, we have the same birthday.
Same exact birthday.
Crazy.
And we just found this out. We've known each other for at least...
Couple months?
Yeah, a few months.
Well, I've known you have been my friend.
Have I?
Yeah, for like a year and a half because I followed you on Instagram.
Did you?
Yeah, but we've known each other. You've known me back for like a couple months.
Yes.
But you're not old.
Yeah, I feel old.
Because if you're old, that means I'm old.
I feel old. However, so what I will say is I spent a lot of time doing other things. I started off in music and found acting in that. Like, I wanted to act way when I was younger. Like, my grandfather, he used to be a tailor at one point in his life.
Nice.
So he would make me and my cousin, Maggie B, you know Maggie?
Yep.
He would make me and her costumes and stuff like that. And he was the camera guy. He was the musician. He would, play guitars and stuff. He would woods, whatever you needed him to do. He was kind of like, we kind of share those similarities, him and I. So he got us into the acting and writing and all that stuff way back when. But when I decided to take acting seriously, I want to say that was like 2017, only a few years ago.
Just a couple years ago.
Because I was already doing it. I didn't feel the need to act more at the time. But then once I really took myself away from Chicago, because I moved out to Los Angeles, when I almost said it. A few years ago, I moved out to LA, and then when I did that, I auditioned for something, and I was like, wait a minute, people want me to do this?
They like me.
They really
like me.
Right. So I decided to give it a go, 2017, and here we are to 2021.
Here we are. And so why acting though? Like at your core, what is it about acting that really just gets you going?
Easy. That's such an easy question. You get to live so many different lives. At least for me, you get to live the life of different people. Like you can go from being a tailor, like I just said, or you can go from being a tailor to a military guy, to a professional skateboarder, to Salvador Dali, whatever. Sky's the limit. You get to live so many different lives, and you don't deal with the backlash of being a jack of all trades. Right?
Right.
It's like a legal loophole that I found. I was like, I want to do everything.
Yeah.
Like I fancy living different lives when I look at, let's say being a police officer. I don't really want to be a cop, but like in my mind I could see this person, this avatar being that thing. So it's intriguing. I'm like, "Oh man, I could be a cop. I could train and I could shoot things and like you be all yes sir."
Yeah.
But I can also be a tap dancer.
That's true.
And I can also like see myself being, I don't know, a ballet guy. I can see myself doing so like, and I've always dealt with the jack of all trades kind of like thing. Like, he does everything, so he's not necessarily good at everything.
What is it? Jack of all trades, master of none?
Right.
Yeah.
I've dealt with that
one too.
Right, but like it's not a thing when you're an actor.
That's an asset.
Yeah.
To be so many different things and to be good at being so many different things. You mentioned it briefly. So you're from Chicago. Mm-hmm. And you moved here. Can you talk a little bit about the importance of, I guess, making that pivot from going from one city and trying to pursue acting and then going to another? Why that's important for people to know, I guess, when to do that.
Oh, man. You know, I won't say I'm the professional with that decision, right? Because it was such a difficult decision for me to leave Chicago. Mm. Like, I had spent so much time putting my foot into music with other musicians and stuff like that. Like I was in a band for it's around 15 years. We have 2 studio albums. Shout out to Trainwreck Symphony.
That's awesome.
You can find us on iTunes, Spotify, all the things, YouTube. If you want, you can look up our music videos on YouTube. But so I was with the band and we were giving it a go, and it was just so difficult to juggle my stuff along with their stuff and getting us all on the same page. And I got to a point where I was like, you know what, I'm feeling a tug on my spirit, and it's unbearable at this point. That's how I knew, like, you got to trust your discernment, right? You got to know yourself enough to be like, something's going on, and if you think it's this thing and it keeps on ringing in the back of your head, it's that thing. Mm-hmm. Just make the choice, and then you feel right afterwards. And that's what happened with me. Like I decided to move to Los Angeles from Chicago, spent like a year and some change out there. Yeah. And it wasn't working for me that well out there either. I was getting work and I was doing things. Like I went and jumped into some acting and some other classes, wrote a short out there, and also I was able to book. But the finances weren't right.
Yeah. That part.
Right? That part. So the finances, first, follow the finances.
Long story short.
Yeah, you have to follow the money on the way to, doing that thing that you really want.
Right. That's good.
Yeah, so after that year and a half in LA, I called Eugene. Shout out to Eugene Bush of E-Trade Productions. I called Gene and my cousin Maggie. I was like, yo, I'm out in LA. I'm on it. I'm trying to do the thing. Like, I'm out here pursuing the dream. And it's just not working. He was like, well, I have a job offer for you. And I was like, sweet. And at the time, I really did need to make a change. So I came out here, and that's when we actually met. And,
when you met me.
When I met you, finally. And then it was easier because I was closer to my purpose. I started meeting people like you and hanging out with Gene and Maggie more, and like meeting so many people here, and it really did open up doors for me.
Yeah, that's awesome. I like what you talked about, like knowing your gut, knowing the discernment. Acting is emotional. Yeah. When you're not acting, like wanting to pursue acting, it's like an emotional roller coaster. It comes with lots of highs, lots of lows, and you've been able to kind of, I guess, get a taste at having your own small projects to being on blockbusters. Can you talk a little bit about the 2 facets and how you remain driven, I guess? Talk about some of the films that you've been on.
Okay. So it started in LA. Like I said, I auditioned for a project. First of all, I didn't even know what a self-tape was, right? Like, I know that I helped one of my buddies, Corey Hendricks.
Well, I don't.
You don't know Corey?
No, I don't. I don't know what a self-tape is.
Oh, a self-tape. So a self-tape, like, you have a backdrop, and then, you set up some lights, and you have your film or your camera, and then you have a reader reading the audition sides. We call them sides, but it's the script. It's a piece of the script, and, you audition in front of the camera, and then you self-tape it and send it off.
Okay.
To casting directors.
That must be like the film word. So it's an audition.
Yeah. It's an audition.
Okay.
It's an audition that you tape yourself and send in, as opposed to
somebody else
going to somebody and standing in front of them.
Gotcha.
Right.
You do it yourself.
I've done both, but yeah, the ones that we get most are the self tapes. So I sent in a self tape when I was in LA for this project that I found on Craigslist.
Wow.
Right. And the only reason I even knew how to do a self tape and what to say in the self-tape was because I was helping out my buddy Corey Hendricks. audition for something else, and it was like he was like, not yo, but hey, I'm Corey Hendricks. I'm such and such height. I'm willing to shave. I didn't even have a beard at the time, and I said that on the self-tape, and I actually booked it.
Wow.
I got a call back, and the callback was over FaceTime. It was really weird. That project has yet to come out.
Okay.
And that was in 2017. But be on the lookout for that.
Yeah.
You guys may be able to see something soon.
That's awesome.
That one was really cool, but that was the first one of kind of like many. That one set me into motion because like I was on set only as an actor when I'm usually the et cetera man. My agents call me the et cetera man because I'll put up lights, I'll string that. You already know.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
So, but that was the first one that I was able to really just be an actor and really fall into it. And that's, man, I just remember I was in LA, like I was playing this kind of like cholo guy. His name was Cufflinks. I don't know if I'll get in trouble for sharing that name, but like I had my hair trimmed down, I had a massive beard, wearing like a thing, and I don't know, that just felt felt like like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was able to really dive into that, and at that time I was hanging out with my cousin a lot, and he was like, he is that, right? Yeah, he's cholo all the way, except that he lives in Chicago.
Okay.
But we hung out a lot more, listened to some Mexican music, got some tattoos, and was like, orale. Right? So I did that one, and then I moved out to Atlanta, and that's when it snowballed. Like I was able to work on a project with Eugene Bush and Maggie called Mixed Emotions, Volume 1 and 2.
On Amazon.
It's now on Amazon Prime. You can check it out there.
Check it out.
Yeah.
I was an extra in that film. That's where I met you.
Really?
I'm on the last scene, and I say
I did see
something
you in
like,
that recently because we were watching it.
And that was.
You have a line.
I have a line. I had like 2 lines.
She's got a
I don't
speaking
remember
role
them.
in it.
I said actual words, but I can't remember.
That's a speaking role.
Yeah, that's when I realized that acting is not my niche.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just.
You just felt it when you were there doing it. You're like.
Yeah, I was like, why am I here?
Got it.
But I wanted to be in part of the process because the movie making process, I'm interested in.
Yeah.
Like it's fantastic.
It is. It's a lot of fun. Very stressful.
So you got here, did Mixed Emotions.
Did Mixed Emotions. That's when I got my agent
Nice.
agents. Gil Talent. Shout out to Gil Talent Group.
How important how important do you think that is for an actor?
For an agent.
To get an agent, like people think they can do it on their own.
You can do it on your own.
Okay.
You can do it on your own, but it's better to have an agent. Okay. Right? Like you can still have auditions, and you can still audition for things and submit yourself, and you can get casted. However, agents they know people.
That's true.
They know people, and like their casting directors are likely to listen to an agent before they're going to listen to some random person that says, "Hey, I can act."
That's true.
The agents have a bunch of actors under their roster that can already do it, and they know it because they've put them on the roster. So it's really important to get an agent, but you're not going to get an agent unless you're actively doing the work and have something to show them.
Yeah.
Like I got extremely lucky to be on Mixed Emotions because there was agents there on set because they were part of the production.
Nice.
So they saw me acting live and they were like, "We got to sign this guy because I'm good." I'm kidding.
Freaking awesome.
Right. So I got my agents, and then shortly after that, I was able to work on a short film, like literally within a month or so, a short film entitled "Give Us Free" by Mac Grant, and I forget the other guy's name.
That's okay. He's important.
Yeah.
He's
of
awesome.
Resolve Media. So Resolve Media is the group,
Nice.
right? And then after that, one of the biggest bookings so far, Jumanji: The Next Level. I was able to.
Just don't skip past that.
I'm not skipping. I'm telling
said
you.
really fast.
Jumanji: The Next Level.
So is it Jumanji or Jumanji?
I say Jumanji. Jumanji?
It's Jumanji: The Next Level.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
Fill you in. I'll fill you in. This is how it happened.
What?
This is how it happened. So
cool.
It's actually a crazy story.
Okay.
So I get the audition, and it's something called. Let me rewind. I get an audition. It's called Hunter's Point.
The audition.
The audition,
Okay.
the role, right? The movie is called Hunters Point.
Okay.
Right? So I get an audition, Hunters Point, and it's something simple. It says that I'll be a bartender. 2 lines, easy.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, cool. And it's like you're a bartender for a group of ruffians, so like rough people.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, cool. I could do that, and I was super excited, but I couldn't find anything called Hunters Point anywhere on the internet.
Yeah.
Nowhere, nothing on IG, nowhere, right? I talked to Ernestine, EJ. You guys will probably see her too. She's
guys
probably
will meet
gonna
her.
audition.
She'll be on the
Audition.
podcast.
See, acting. She'll be here. So I talked to EJ and I was like, EJ, man, I can't find anything on the internet. And she started looking too. She was like, I don't think it's that. And I was like, we're shooting at the what is it called? The Black Hall Studios.
Okay.
Black Hall Studios. So we're trying to figure it out. We're not, right? And then I get a call after I audition. Oh, excuse me. Let's go back to the audition. I go to the audition. There's a little dog there, and there's the lady. I think her name is Rachel. And I go in, and she's like, all right, so you're in a video game.
Oh my goodness.
And in my head, I was like, fuck.
What did you think?
I was like, man, I don't want to be a thing in a video game while people are acting, doing the real thing. So I didn't know. I was just like,
you didn't catch on.
I didn't catch on. I was just like, all right, let's get this over with. So she was like, all right, here's your words, or you know the sides already. Let's go. You're gonna do it twice. So I did it. Ale or bourbon? What'll it be? And did it again. Ale or bourbon? What'll it be? She was like, that's it. I was like, that's it? She was like, yep, quick and painless. I was like, cool, all right, I'm leaving, right? Wow. So there was like a little dog, I played with the dog. Oh my God, I love you. And I think that might have had a little something, because hear me out. So fast forward, I get a phone call from Costume, Lois, right? She's like, hey, this is Lois from Jumanji, congratulations. And in my head, I'm like, who is this lady calling me with her biggest credit?
Yeah.
Being like, I'm big-ish calling you.
Right.
Right? So I was like, okay, lady. She's like, can you be here for Costume? I was like, yeah, I'm there. I got the role, right?
Yeah.
So I go, and excuse me. That day, I go into the office and I talk to EJ. I'm like, EJ, so I'm shooting at this Black Hall thing, and there's nothing there. The lady said she's from Jumanji. Jumanji is shooting at this studio.
Wow.
Right? Among other things, there's other movies there. And she's like, I think it's Jumanji. She said it nonchalant, like, because she's an actor too. It's like she does this.
She knew it.
Right. So she knew. I was like, that's not my life. Yeah. Like, I'm not about to sit across from Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and act with him. Oh my God. Like, cause I was wearing his shoes when I was talking to EJ. You feel me?
Oh my gosh.
I'm one of his biggest fans. Like, when I'm in the gym every day, I'm thinking about what The Rock might be doing. Like, he's got his anchor in the morning, wakes up, does everything that he's supposed to, eats right, works out right. And then he has his cheat days with his Terramana tequila and stacks of pancakes with peanut butter and stuff on there. Anyway, I'm just a huge fan. I like the guy.
Yeah.
She's like, I think it's Jumanji. I was like, all right, let's see. So I go the next day and I pull up to the security gate, give my ID. They give me the thing that you put in the car, the sticker, and then the one you put on here.
Yep.
I didn't put it on. I just held it.
Okay.
Because I was reading it as I'm pulling in to this huge studio. It's like, it's a lot with different, it looks like different properties, but it's studios.
Okay.
Right? Like big sets.
Yeah.
And I pull up and I see it, and the sticker says, Javier Villamil, Sony Pictures, Jumanji: The Next Level, or Jumanji 2, because it was untitled at the time, Jumanji 2.
Wow.
And I'm like, there's no way.
Oh my
I'm here for Hunters Point. So I go inside, and then I sign in, and then she's like, okay, right in there. And I go into the door, and it's like just only one rack of costumes, just one small rack.
Yeah.
With like different looks. And then there's pictures of The Rock, Jack Black,
my
Kevin Hart, everyone in
goodness.
their costumes for the movie. And that's when it really hit me. Like, and I'm here with my big beard, wearing my backwards hat, and I'm
Wow.
like, is this my life right now? And she made me try on the thing. I'm in a badass purple suit. I'm like,
So cool.
she's taking photos of me. She's like, this is it. This is what you're going to wear in the movie.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay. And, we finished the conversation. It's a light conversation because she was
Yeah.
from Venice and I was wearing a Gold's Gym hat.
Nice.
And Gold's Gym is in California.
Okay.
So we were talking about Venice. And honestly, the things that she's saying is going into one ear and out the other because
Yeah.
all I could think about is I'm about to be in Jumanji. And I had no idea what it was going to be,
No idea.
right? Because I auditioned for a bartender and I didn't even get that role. I got a call back and got booked to be somebody else. I'm actually Switchblade's sidekick in it. And you can see me in the movie and I'm like, Switchblade, there he is, right? And I'm like, nice shot, Switchblade, which was all ADR because his name in the movie was Ronaldo first. That's some side info. But,
Wow.
okay, so at the costume thing, the story's not done. I go into my car afterwards and I call my agent because I'm sitting in the car after I try on the thing,
Yeah.
just taking a moment.
That's
You feel me?
surreal. Yeah, that's
you feel
surreal.
me?
That's
Because
surreal.
it's huge. It's like that's a big movie to. I
To
had
be
it
in it, but then you're sharing a scene.
sharing a. I didn't know that yet.
Oh, my
I didn't know until the
goodness.
day I was there. I didn't know what the scene consisted of until I was there. Like I was reading new sides,
Mm-hmm.
and it was easy. But I went over those lines in my head so many times because there was no way I'm gonna stand over here
Yeah.
and say the wrong thing or just not know what I'm supposed to say next. And yeah, like
What a moment.
I called my agent. I was like, Patty, I might have been talking to Patty. Patty, that audition that you sent me on,
Yeah.
Hunter's Point. She's like, yeah, Hunter's Point. Well, what about it? I'm like, that's Jumanji, and I'm in it. She's like, Genya, that thing that Javi said is Jumanji. They didn't even know. They were like, wow.
It was
I was
so
like,
under wraps.
it was under wraps because it was a
Wow.
code name. They didn't want people. I don't know why they do that, but.
Yeah.
Look, I didn't know. And then I didn't know until I was on set that I was actually sharing a scene with The Rock because, you don't know their name. Or I didn't know their names.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I'm reading the thing and I'm cross-referencing who is who in the thing
Wow.
because they give you a little side sheet or something like
Mm-hmm.
that, like a little pamphlet of what's to be shot that day. It's called A Day Out of the Days. So I looked at the Day Out of Days. I see who is who. And I'm looking at my scene. I'm like, right? And I'm like, the person I'm saying, hey, there he is The Rock, and I'm pointing at him.
And inside you're like, there he is. Like, oh my.
I'm dying.
Wow.
I'm looking at him, that mammoth of a being. I'm like,
Yeah.
he has no idea that I think about him often.
That's crazy.
He has no idea that I watch his workout videos. I get juiced. I'm like, I'm going to the gym.
Did you get to talk to him at all?
Yes. Well, okay, so this is how it happened. I shook Kevin Hart's hand because EJ told me to because she knows him.
Okay.
They used to work together because she had a concierge service.
Gotcha.
And she would style people. So she styled them before and she was like, tell him I said hi. I was like, I can't talk to him. She was like, go up to him and talk to him. So the next day, because I had a few days on set, I went up to Kevin. I saw him there. I shook his hand. I was like, EJ told me to say something. And he was like, oh yeah, Ernestine.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, she actually knows him.
Yeah.
So that was kind of cool. But what really shook me at my core was when I was able to say what's up to The Rock. And like,
How do you find the time?
this is how it happened. This is how it happened. So we're doing our scene, and I don't know if you guys are gonna watch this scene, but it's me and a group of ruffians and Switchblade, and we're coming up with torches, and we're saying, there he is or whatever. We're doing that, and then in between, everyone's on this side of the room at this point.
Okay.
Right? Like all the ruffians, the production, the camera's right here. So everybody's winding up over here, and he's still over there talking to one of the producers.
Oh.
So they're setting up, they're putting out because they had to put out the torches in between each take, and we had to do the takes a few times. They had to relight it, and it was just. But anyway, they're doing that back there, and I see him over there.
Wow.
And I'm like, this is my moment. I'm about to talk to The Rock, to Mr. The Rock, right? So I see Mr. The Rock over there, right? And I'm like,
Wow.
I'm gonna walk over there because he's walking this way. I'm like, I'm going. So I start walking towards him, and he's walking towards me with the dude, and he looks at me, And I'm like, I'm gonna say something, and like as soon as he gets to where you're at, my eyes just like go like this.
Oh no!
And I give him my fist. I give him my fist. I start looking down because I can't look him in the eye. Like it's the Mr. The Rock,
I know.
right?
Wow.
So I give him my fist, and he's like, "Oh, what's up, buddy?" And gives me a pound, and I kind of like I give him one of these as he's walking away, and then I was like, oh, he just called me his buddy. I'm totally his buddy now. He didn't talk to me for the rest of the thing, but
Wow.
in my head,
Yeah. You guys had a full on conversation.
we had a moment.
Yeah, that was a
Like he saw who I was, and he didn't have to say nothing else but besides call me a buddy because he knew that I would be his buddy
You were
if he had the
fanboying.
time.
Yeah. Yeah.
If he had the time, he would invite me to the Iron Paradise to like work out.
That's easy. Yeah.
Right?
Easily. That's crazy. That's awesome.
Thanks.
Wow. So you come off of that blockbuster of a film, off of that high, and seeing the promo
Yeah.
and seeing it get released and seeing the reception.
Unbelievable.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then it's like, what's next? What's next?
And then
What's
it's
next?
like, what's next, right? So like now I'm looking at it like that was such a blessing because no lie, it does help your life. Like people see you do that thing and then they have no choice but to be like, shit.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can curse on this. I'm
too
sorry.
late.
I'm sorry.
It's already
I
done.
probably dropped the S-bomb a few times. But like people see that thing and they have no choice but to accept you for what you're showing them. And I think that that's life period. And the best people, the best strategists and the best bosses, they recognize that like you are in control of what you show people and what you tell the people who you are and how you hold yourself. Like you could script your whole life out. And people will have no choice but to take you as that person. And you're like, oh, right?
That's who they are.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
So, but that happening, the Jumanji thing, like it really did help out. Like now, people are seeing that thing, and I was able to. I think it was afterwards. I was able to book Chicago Fire, which is it's like a well-known Chicago show. I'm not sure if people know too much about that one.
That's okay. Yeah, that's awesome.
But that was good for me at home
Yeah.
because I'm from Chicago. So people at home were like, "You on that show?"
What was your biggest takeaway?
From which? Or from
Well, I
what?
guess from both. From the two films that you just named.
Man, the biggest takeaway is that I could do that thing. Like,
Biggest takeaway as a person, biggest takeaway as an actor.
biggest takeaway as a person. Biggest takeaway as a person might have to be that just believe in yourself, right? Like I just need to believe in myself a little bit more. Like I'm the person that I've always said I have been. But a lot of times people get caught up in like trying to like dim their light in a sense. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like putting up barriers around themselves, or just like diluting themselves for others, right? And I feel like a lot of people have to talk themselves into just being that dope person that they've always been, right? So I've been learning to just be more of myself, and those takeaways, or the takeaway that I got from getting booked all those times was